had a game today. How'd that go? Tell us that first.
It was all right.
A learning process, we'll say, right?
Yeah.
Now, you've been here 17 years.
Thanks for reminding me.
Talk about, but 17 years in any career anymore is somewhat challenging.
Yeah.
What is it about Bridgewater that's kept you here?
Really, the people, for the most part. I mean, everybody's great, especially within the department. Everybody's supportive of one another. And you kind of really get that sense of family, sort of away from family. I mean, I'm from Pennsylvania, so to be 3 hours away from my actual family, like the work family, they just kind of embrace you and you feel the love right off the bat. And it's just a great place to be.
You have a couple of roles that you play, which we'll talk about coming up in a minute, but you were a multi-sport athlete in high school. How did that prepare you for kind of what you're doing now? And tell us what you played in high school.
Well, I played field hockey, I swam competitively, and played soccer. And then in college, I also played field hockey and swam, so I was a two-sport athlete in college as well, too. And I think it gives you that time management skill and the ability to kind of multitask and balance things out and kind of manage the chaos. And it also just makes you a stronger athlete. Like, I can relate on so many different levels to my athletes and what they're going through because I've gone through it, maybe not in field hockey, but I went through it with soccer or swimming or something along those lines.
Have you used the line, I don't want to hear that, I've been there, done that kind of thing?
Yeah. Usually, though, it's I've paid my dues.
Right.
So.
Well, let's talk about your other role, working with Title IX, and just what your other role is at Bridgewater College in the athletics department.
Well, I'm a deputy Title IX coordinator. I'm also a work study coordinator, and more recently, I'm going to be working with student life on some things as well too.
Now, talking about your athletes, I understand you've had 58 that have been all academic honors.
Oh, I didn't even know that.
At least that's what the website says. But at least, how does that impact recruiting, finding kids who understand the importance of the academic side and truly being a student athlete?
I think first things, when I go recruiting, that's the first thing I'm looking at is kind of GPA and SAT scores, and I really want to make sure that they understand that for me, academics are first. I was a Division III athlete in 2 sports, and that's got to be the priority. There's no professional field hockey after college, and finding those athletes that are dedicated to their academics but also want the extra challenge of playing a varsity sport at the college level. Those are the athletes that I want to get, and that's who I want to bring to Bridgewater. So I think finding the right student athlete, with student being the first part, is always my priority with getting them here. And then it's just kind of giving them the tools and making sure that they have what they need to be successful.
So they've got to be good in the classroom. What skills do they need to have on the field? What do you look for in a collegiate field hockey athlete?
I'm a big believer in the basics and just having a strong fundamental, those strong fundamentals, stopping the ball, running our feet, a certain way of playing defense. Those are always the things that kind of catch my eye first. It's not necessarily the athlete who is completely polished. I do like my diamonds in the rough because I like to develop those athletes and see how they improve over the 4 years. And kind of the other thing that I tell them is like, you're going to come in and regardless of what happens, you're going to leave here in 4 years being the best field hockey player that you can be, depending on what you put into it. If they put everything into it and are dedicated, then they can kind of grow with that sport. So a little bit polished and like having a good understanding of the basics. I do like an athlete who has a background in soccer because they tend to understand kind of off-ball movement. And there's a lot of similarities between field hockey and soccer. We just smaller ball stick to do it. But yeah, those are kind of that's who I'm looking for is somebody who does the little things better than everybody else on the field. And has like kind of that understanding and that drive to become better.
Field hockey's not prominent here in the Valley, so where do you recruit? And then looking for the diamonds in the rough, do you have to sort of go off the beaten trail and maybe into smaller communities where they would play more than one sport?
Yeah, I think this year our freshman class coming in is very strong. We have about, I think of our starting lineup, 3 of them are usually freshmen. And a lot of them didn't play in the club system. They're coming from a high school system. So that's kind of where I try to find some of those diamonds in the rough is the multi-sport athletes who maybe don't put the money into doing travel, field hockey, and getting that extra training, but they're playing soccer, swimming, softball, volleyball, whatever it might be, maybe running cross country. whatever it can be. And that's kind of where I tend to find those diamond in the roughs are the ones that haven't put the attention on the chapel ball team. And the more polished players are usually coming from the club system. Field hockey, it's not here in the Valley. Hopefully, maybe one day it'll be here soon. So Charlottesville, Richmond area has gotten big, Virginia Beach, but I also really like to go north. I like to go to my roots. I like to go to Pennsylvania and Delaware and Maryland. So I'm always surprised at how many Delaware girls that we end up getting, but that's a great little place to find, especially Division III minded athletes, because there's really only, I think, one Division III school in Delaware that sponsors field hockey, so they're looking to come someplace.
What's the breakdown of this year's team as far as experience versus youth?
So we have, we're pretty balanced, I think. I think we have, we have our seniors and our juniors who are predominantly on the field. We do have a couple freshmen and sophomores who have been stepping up and filling some roles. I think it's the leadership of the senior class. So some of them weren't on the field all the time, but their leadership even on the sidelines, they've embraced their roles and they're trying to find new roles. So encouraging, things like that. I think the hardest thing, I have 2 senior goalkeepers, and goalkeeper being such a specific position, you don't know, it's going to be, and it's hard to kind of sub that position as well too. So what I love is when one of the seniors that has been, okay, you're going to be my starter. The other one is on the sidelines when we score a goal. She's the one giving high fives to everybody, cheering the loudest, like embracing that role of being the supporter on the sidelines. So they're also usually the first ones to talk at halftime, telling the team what they see, and that's to really encourage kind of the reserve players to do that, to kind of be the eyes and ears for the girls on the field, and tell them what's going on and what they might not be aware of. But I'd say we're pretty balanced, and class-wise, I think we've, and I think that's good for recruiting too, because it never seems like, we're going to be, if we lose this senior class, the strength of the freshmen. It's kind of like, okay, the next class is already ready to kind of step in and take over.
And last question, you're home, I think, next weekend, both Saturday, Sunday. You got 2 days back-to-back. Talk about those opportunities your team has.
I think it's great. I think we started, our schedule is real tough, and I kind of did that on purpose to sort of get us prepared for the rigors of conference play in October. So I think this weekend, the teams we're playing, they're tough, but they're coming from Kentucky, so they're coming from, they're going to have that trip coming in. I can't remember who. I think Center we play on Sunday, so they'll have a tough game before us. And then we're playing Transylvania on Saturday, and I think, every game we get better and better and better. So I'm expecting, especially having 4 days to prepare for this weekend, that it should all start coming together.
Best of luck. Thanks for coming out. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Allie,